Hello and welcome to Liberty News. First, we begin with the headlines. Omobayo Godwins inaugurated as Edo Deputy Governor. PDP reps demand acting chairman Damagun's resignation before next. Central Bank of Nigeria bans foreign currency collateral for Naira loans. And from the international scene, Mozambique boat sinking, death tolls rises to 96. In sport, you hear that Rivers United fall to Usma crash out of CAF Confederations Cup. My name is Afno Musa. Now, the details. The Nigerian government has declared Tuesday 9th and Wednesday 10th April 2024 as public holidays to mark the Eid el-Fitr celebrations. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, who made the declaration on behalf of the government, congratulated all Muslim Ummah for the successful completion of the fasting in the holy month of Ramadan. Tunji Ojo calls on Muslim Ummah to imbibe and practice the virtues of kindness, love, tolerance, peace, good neighborliness and compassion as exemplified by the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be unto him. He urged Nigerians to continue in the spirit of unity to improve and achieve peace and oneness in the country. The minister wishes all Muslim Ummah a happy Eid el-Fitr celebration and prays that the peace, blessing and favor of Allah be with everyone and our great nation. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, with the Minister of Power, has emphasized the current administration's commitment to bridging the communication gap between the government and the Nigerian people. The minister said this during a ministerial press briefing series featuring the Minister of Power at the National Press Center in Abuja. Liberty News correspondent gives us the details.
The federal government of Nigeria said it would no longer pay subsidy on electricity consumed by Band A customers, but others will continue to pay the old rate. While speaking, Minister of Power Adebayo Adelabu, the minister pointed out that the subsidy regime, where the government covers 67% of the cost of power production, transmission, and distribution, consumes more than 10% of the national budget.
Subsidy pricing regime, whereby government provides a large portion of the cost of producing, of transmitting, and of distributing power. And I must tell you that as of today, before the introduction of the tariff increase, government is subsidizing nothing less than 67% of the cost of producing, transmitting, and distributing electricity in Nigeria. At the current exchange rate, this is going to translate into 2.9 trillion naira for 2024. This is more than 10% of the national budget. Power sector is just a single sector out of so many sectors that government has to attend to. We have the works, we have housing, we have education, we have health, we have defense, and so on and so forth, that are all competing for this meager revenue from the government. So it will be very, very insensitive on our part to force or compel government to continue to subsidize at that rate of almost 3 trillion for the power sector alone. We just have to be realistic and considerate.
He further said that the power sector needs an overhaul and the present administration has taken the bold step to start a journey. He pleaded for patience and understanding in addressing the root cause of the problems of the power sector to provide consumers with the desired services.
To plead for understanding, I want to plead for patience, and I want to plead for your trust and confidence that you should exercise some patience with the government, that we are addressing the root cause of the problem in the power sector.
However, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, said the ministerial press briefing is conducted regularly to ensure the President Bola Tinubu's goal of an accessible and timely flow of information is achieved. He assured the Nigerians and the media that the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation will continue to provide credible and timely information on government policies.
Only affects about 15% of the electricity consumers, and Nigeria can no longer afford to pay about 2.9 trillion naira annually to subsidize power. This, of course, will bring down the cost of subsidy to about 40%. I'm sure about 1.1 trillion or thereabout will be saved annually. This money will be put into other sectors. To know honestly, truthfully, what government is doing, and you have opportunity to ask questions where there are, and seek for clarifications where necessary, so that you better appreciate what government policy is doing.
The federal government announced the hike in electricity tariff at a press briefing in Abuja by NEC, adding that those affected will pay 225 naira per kilowatt hour, up from the previous rate of 68 naira per kilowatt per hour, representing about 240% increase. In Abuja, Mercy Queen Thanko, Liberty News.
Now from Edo State, where the State House of Assembly has impeached the state embattled Deputy Governor Philip Shuaibu, ending a long-drawn political drama between him and Governor Godwin Obaseki of Edo State. He was impeached during the House plenary session in Benin City, the Edo State capital, in a move that began months following the soured relationship between Obaseki and Shuaibu. Shuaibu's impeachment followed the adoption of the report of a 7-man committee set up by the Chief Judge of Edo State, Justice Daniel Okungboa, to investigate allegations of misconduct against the Deputy Governor. During plenary at the Assembly Complex in Benin City, the Edo State capital, the majority leader of the House, Charity Agbo-Buehin, said the report of the 7-man judicial panel of inquiry presented to the House had 2 findings and 1 recommendation. Meanwhile, Omobayo Godwins has been inaugurated as the Edo State Deputy Governor as after Philip Shuaibu was impeached by the State House of Assembly. Meanwhile, Omobayo Godwins being inaugurated as the Edo Deputy Governor as after Philip Shuaibu was impeached by the State House of Assembly, the 37-year-old, who was beaming with a smile, was sworn in around 1:40 p.m. on Monday by the Chief Judge of Edo State, Justice Daniel Okungboa. In a day that began with the impeachment of Shuaibu as the state's deputy governor, Omobayo's inauguration at the Edo State Government House in Benin City marks a major twist in the political history of the state. After he took the oath of office, an excited Omobayo, who was dressed in a white kaftan and a red native cap to match, was greeted by a rousing crowd in one of the halls at the Government House. His swearing in came swiftly after Shuaibu's impeachment on the grounds of releasing secret information about the state, ending months of power tussle between Shuaibu and Governor Obaseki over the former's quest for the state governorship seats. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 elections, Peter Gregory Obi, says the country needs to tackle the devastating effects of poverty and insecurity in the northern region of Nigeria through agriculture and industrial revolution. Obi said this when he paid a courtesy visit to the Emir of Zazzau in Kaduna State, Ambassador Nuhu Bamali, as part of his ongoing tour of the north. The Labour Party chieftain lamented that the majority of the vast arable lands in the north are uncultivated, while most of the industries in the region have shut down due to lack of political will and inconsistent government economic policies. He, however, noted that the current socio-economic instability in the country requires that all citizens and leaders come together and see how the situation could be salvaged. Now, the Green Chamber's House of Representatives has given a thumbs up to President Bola Tinubu for signing the Student Loan Act into law. The chairman, House Committee on Tertiary Education, Isiaka Boyega, who gave the commendation, said the essence of the bill is to introduce subsidies in the education sector.
Government realizes that education has both economic and social part of it. Therefore, is taking some subsidy by way of this being interest-free, to a large extent, and so many other, subsidies that might be part of the guideline when it is announced. I mean, the whole essence of this is, number one, is about cost sharing. Number two is also to give the students the opportunity to also have a say into their future. Now, if you want to go and read engineering, and the cost of engineering is so much, and you feel that your parents cannot afford it, therefore you want to, because of that, go to business admin or go to sociology. Now you have opportunity to go and read your engineering.
Isiaka Boyega said, though there could be challenges in the scheme, just like it is being experienced in other countries like the United States of America.
there could be challenges. That does not necessarily mean that we have, in some other places we have the same thing. So my answer to that is that I'm aware of that, but that has not taken away the benefits of a loan scheme, or to students, so that they can be able to live a life and also be able to do the kind of courses they have. I think what is important is for us to learn from some of those. I mean, this thing has been in existence in about 1951 in Colombia and in India, and some of those places they are still having it. It's quite popular in Latin America, but some time before it moved into other parts of the world. And in some of those places they are still having it. Of course.
Now from Lagos State, where the former Central Bank of Nigeria's Governor Godwin Emefiele has pleaded not guilty to charges against him. He was arraigned at the Ikeja High Court over alleged abuse of office and allocation of billions of dollars. The trial judge, Justice Rahman Oshodi, preceded the 26-count charge to Emefiele and his co-defendant Harry Omole, but both defendants pleaded not guilty to all counts. The defendants asked for bail pending the hearing and determination of the proceedings. Godwin Emefiele specifically asked the court to grant him bail on several cognizance pending the hearing and determination of his case, or in the alternative that he be released to his counsel pending the determination of the case. His counsel, Lebi Lawal, argued that the court should consider his status. The counsel also says that this charge in Lagos is just one of the charges, and Emefiele is likely to be arraigned on another set of fresh accounts in Abuja next week. Some House of Representatives members elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) have demanded the resignation of the acting national chairman of the party, Umar Damagum, accusing him of working with the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC). The lawmakers led Chinyere Ukenga briefed journalists on Monday at the House of Representatives Media Center. They accused Damagum of plotting to hand over the party to the APC. In a prepared speech, Ukenga said the party is aware of plots by Damagum to extend the tenure of the local government party executives and perpetuate his hold on the leadership of the party. The lawmaker made reference to the ongoing crisis in the Rivers State over the party's leadership. He also stated that Damagum is working with the ruling party to destroy the PDP. The lawmakers warned that they would leave the party if Damagum fails to resign before the next NEC meeting. In a bid to reduce period poverty in the country, Connected Development, in partnership with Society for Water and Sanitation, has introduced the Buy Me a Pad campaign to promote menstrual hygiene among women and girls. Speaking at a press conference in Abuja, the stakeholders said there is an urgent need to reduce period poverty in the country. Here's the report.
Elizabeth Ugo, Director, Water Quality Control and Sanitation, Federal Ministry of Water Resources, has emphasized the need to increase affordability and accessibility of menstrual hygiene products, which can be achieved through government subsidies, community-driven initiatives, and partnerships.
National Task Group on Sanitation and also talking on hygiene. And in this task group, we have sensitizations that are organized, creating awareness around menstrual health, hygiene management. And the sensitization, it's something that cuts across. You go from states to the local government to the communities. So when we carry out the trainings in the state and local government, we expect that this will be stepped down to the communities. And that way is in a way they are owning the process to be able to also step these trainings down and then educate more people in the communities to have informed better information to be able to manage their menstrual health, hygiene, whenever they are in their periods, the women now and girls.
Also speaking, Priscilla Chakpa, board member Newsan, underscored the pervasive issue of period poverty in Nigeria, which she said had affected over 37 million girls and women.
We wrote a memo to the then Minister of Women Affairs, and this memo was taken to the council and the presentation was made. that the issues of menstrual hygiene management is an issue that must be considered as a priority in the plans of the ministry and also as a policy. And then that was when it was adopted and agreed, and that was when the issues of menstrual hygiene started coming into the public limelight.
Amina Lawal, while highlighting the challenges faced by girls during menstruation, says it includes high cost of sanitary products and limited access to clean water and sanitation facilities. Stated that women and girls suffering is a crisis and calls for national emergency.
The initiative is, collaborating with other NGOs to ensure that pads are being accessible and affordable for girls that are teenagers and also women that are still menstruating. Now, this initiative is important because it's about creating awareness for the health hazard, that the implication of using materials that are not hygienic for menstrual period, and to also create an awareness around the attitude towards menstruation. A lot of people frown on menstruation. Even some men would not want to talk about it. But if we do not talk about it, if we do not create awareness, how would we know what to do? How would our girls know what to do and how to take care of themselves?
Highlight of the event was presentation by Code to the Society for Water and Sanitation. The core activity of WASH emphasizes the teaching of basic sanitation and hygiene to communities and school children, and also to reduce period poverty at all costs. In Abuja, Mercy Thanko, Liberty News.
Now from Benue State, where Benue State Commissioner for Health and Human Services, Yanmar Otesi, said the state received a total of 820 suspected cases of Lassa fever, out of which 63 tested positive, while 16 persons lost their lives and 2 currently on admission in the hospital. Otese, who disclosed this during a press briefing in Makurdi to mark the 2024 World Health Day celebration, appealed to the federal government to establish a disease control center in the state to fast-track treatment of infected persons. He explained that over 5,550 vulnerable households across 276 council wards of the state, including the internally displaced persons IDPs, have been enrolled in the state health insurance scheme under the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund. Otese said the enrollment was to ensure that the right to health is not hindered by citizens' economic status. He also lamented that the state has experienced multiple disease outbreaks, including Lassa fever, measles, Brody ulcer, among others. He also revealed that the number of children dying before the age of 5 has reduced by 50% between 2000 and 2017. And if you're just joining us, it's the main news on Liberty Television. You can also watch us on all our social media platforms. You can find Liberty TV on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Still to come in the news. Central Bank of Nigeria bans foreign currency collateral for Naira loans. On the international scene, Mozambique boat sinking death tolls rises to 96. In sport, Rivers United fall to Usma, crash out of CAF Confederation Cup. Stand by for this and more after this break. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Now to other stories. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has prohibited the use of foreign currency as collateral for Naira loans. This directive, contained in a circular by the Acting Director of the Banking Supervision Department, Adetona S. Adedeji, represents a significant shift in the CBN's approach to loan collateralization. According to the new regularization, banks can no longer accept deposit denominated in foreign currencies like USDs, EUR, and GBP as security for loans issued in Nigeria. These bans extend to most foreign currency-based financial instruments, including those specifically permitted by the CBN. The CBN has outlined two specific exceptions to these new regulations. Nigeria government-issued Euro bonds can still be used as collateral for Naira loans. Guarantees provided by reputable foreign banks, including standby letters of credit, will remain acceptable forms of collateral. The directive provided a time frame for banks to address existing loans secured by non-compliant collateral foreign currency deposits other than Euro bonds or foreign bank guarantees. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has begun another tranche of dollar sales